Did you know that yesterday's hands-off protests were peaceful, not because black people didn't show up, but because
Hi, beautiful, beautiful people. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you for stopping by, supporting your girl on this channel. So, all credit goes to the creators in these videos. Thank you so much. So, guys, in today's video, so April 5th came and went, right? And guess what? The protests, okay, were shockingly peaceful, in quotes. At least that's what people are saying online for those that went and saw and conquered. You know what I mean? But here is the tea on this one. So many black folks intentionally sat this one out, right? Social media was full of posts saying this isn't our fight, let them handle it. Okay, that was what black people were saying. And some white organizers also reported that they told black communities to stay home, okay, so that it won't be misinterpreted. That was before the protest. Now, after the protest, the result, many people noticed that the streets were full of mostly white faces, marching, chanting, holding signs, and all of that. There was no tear gas, there were no rubber bullets, there was no riot gear, and there was no mass arrest. Oh my god, I watched a lot of videos and I read a lot of comments. So people started noticing and they were asking this question that I'm going to ask you guys also. Was it peaceful because of the cause of the protest or because of the color of the crowd? Let's get into these videos and see.
I've been seeing some stuff about how peaceful the protests were yesterday, and people are correlating that with the fact that most black people stayed at home. Um, if anything, this proves how aggressive the police are with black protesters. It has nothing to do with the protesters that didn't show up. It has everything to do with the protesters that did show up. It was peaceful because white people are treated differently by the police than black people. And another thing I want to add right here at the end is I'm seeing a lot of stuff from white folks talking about how we got to do something because they were raised white trash, they were raised poor, so on and so forth. I want you to stop for a second. If you've been telling yourself this, if you've been telling yourself that you know the black experience because you are white trash or raised poor, I need you to stop equating poverty with black people. Please.
Pause my movie. Let me just point out, of all of the over 1,200 protests we done seen, right? They're saying over a few million people have participated in protests across the nation. Let me just say that out of all of these protests, I have not seen not one person getting tear gassed. I have not seen anybody getting womp womp with the batons. I have not seen any lines of the SWAT team lined up approaching people that are marching the streets. As a matter of fact, I heard that in Dallas, the police shut down the roads to allow the people to walk over there where the JFK incident happened, the grassy knoll and the depository. Yeah, they shut down the streets to allow the protests to continue, to allow the people to walk on down them roads. So when you hear black people saying, the ones who decided to protest in other ways, like protesting by not being on the front lines, remember that this is why. Had it not been majority white people marching, would that have still been the outcome? Like, serious question. Don't lie, you know the answer. And this is why we said that this wasn't for us. It is okay that some people went. Okay, that's fine. But it is great that majority of us stayed home and watched TV, while simultaneously having already been doing protesting through other avenues. Because y'all act like marching is the only way to protest. Just remember, this is why the outcome would have been very different. And we all know it. And if we're being real, it's not our jobs. It is not our jobs to dismantle white Christian nationalism and white supremacy. We didn't create it, bitch. We did not create it. We don't benefit from it. So it's not our jobs to dismantle. It has to be dismantled from within by the very people that created it and benefit from it inherently. That's them same people marching. As you should. I'm so happy. I'm so happy y'all showed the fuck up while we sat the fuck down.
A lot of people were mad as hell at me yesterday talking about something. Why you making a video telling people to stay at home? I'm telling because we didn't vote for Trump back in November. Now y'all ass out there talking something. Hey, ho, Trump has got to go. We knew his ass didn't need to be in there in the first damn place. So the people that didn't vote for Trump, our ass they got damn at home. We ain't out there protesting. Everybody you see out there protesting now is gonna be people that voted for his ass. Now y'all ass looking crazy. We tried to warn y'all back in November. Even the vice president said, if Trump get in there, we're going to be in a recession by the summer. Every damn thing that they warn y'all about is happening right now. See, us black folk, we've been going through this shit for years. And now y'all acting sick because they're hitting home now. Now y'all out there, hey, ho, Trump has got to go. So let me tell you like this. He should have never been in there in the first place. We knew what we were doing. We voted no. Y'all should have voted no too. But I thank y'all for going out there and actually standing up and trying to voice our opinion now. But it's too late. It's too late. But we all gonna have to come together. The next time president vote come up, we're gonna have to get somebody in there that's for the people now, not for the rich and not for the upper class. Thank y'all.
Favorite thing about seeing all of these protests is the amount of older white people that are there. As someone who does a lot of organizing, one of our biggest fears is that the government will turn around and label people who are protesting a terrorist organization, like they did with Black Lives Matter and that sort of thing. But when I see so many white folks saying, hey, black folks, people of color, y'all stay home, we got this. And now I'm seeing all this footage of not just younger white people coming out, but people in their 60s, 70s, 80s, like the majority of people who came out are older white folks. This is monumental. This is cross-generational. We are all banding together against this bullshit. This is not just a young person's fight. It is so encouraging to see so many older white folks showing up, because they are the last people that the administration is going to put in handcuffs and label terrorists. And seeing that be the majority of these movements is really encouraging.
People, let's talk. Sometimes I forget that white people aren't as engaged with Black creators on this app and in the world as I am. So there was something over the weekend that I thought everybody was very well aware of, but I'm understanding that that's not the case. I was talking to my mom today, and she and my brother went to a protest on April 5th to protest Trump and all of the things that have been happening for the last couple of months. So she was telling me about her experience, and she said it was like a love fest. It was so nice to be with all of these people, thousands of people, and everybody signs and all this stuff. And I said to her, did you notice that there weren't many Black people there, if any? And she was like, yeah, actually, I did notice, and I was confused. And I was like, I thought Black people were really upset about him too, and I didn't understand. This is my mom talking. So I explained to her that 92% of Black women and 80-some% of Black men did what they were supposed to do back on November 5th. And they are now resting, and they are not participating in these here protests. And that there was a concerted effort for Black folks to stay home yesterday on April 5th. And to be honest, I think she's still confused about the why. But I'm working on that. But do yourself a favor and follow Black content creators here on TikTok, because you will learn so much, and you will be able to use your new knowledge to help educate the people that you are in proximity with. But yeah, white folks, if you didn't know, Black folks said, we're not marching on April 5th. We're not doing it. We're going to stay home. We're going to let white people get us out of this mess, because white people got us into this mess. the more.
No coverage of the protests that took place on April 5th. There were protests that were taking place in all 50 states of the United States of America. All 50 states. Yet there was no coverage. We saw people going live. They were on Instagram Live, Facebook Live, TikTok Live, showing that the protests were happening. They indeed were happening. But why is there no media coverage on those protests? In the lives that I was seeing, that I was streaming, I saw that there were a lot of people out there. And surprise, surprise, there were a lot of white people and a lot of vets. Right? And not only was I paying attention to who was in the crowd, I was paying attention to the police officers, to law enforcement, where they were, what they were doing, how did they look, how they were behaving, because I've witnessed, I've been a part of several protests, especially during the Black Lives Matter, and I know what law enforcement was looking like when it was you understand, those type of protests back in 2020. So I was looking out in the videos, in the streams, looking to spot law enforcement, to see the barricades, to see law enforcement in fucking bulletproof vests with K9 dogs and batons and forcing and huddling everybody in one corner. I was looking out for that. But I didn't see it. I didn't see any of it. I didn't see any of the treatment that would have been out there, that we would have seen had a lot of Black people been out there protesting alongside those white people and those veterans. And that leads me into my next point. The reason why there was no media coverage showing all of these protests that were happening simultaneously in all 50 states was because it would have to showcase that it was all white people, old people, veterans that were fighting, literally saying that Trump is ruining this country. See, they're not going to listen to me and you, Black, brown, you understand, when we say that Trump is literally ruining this country. This administration is going to ruin this country. But if they see Mima and Papa, you understand? They see their grandma, they see their veterans, their vets, their uncles, grandfathers, whoever, out there literally saying, I am a recovered MAGA supporter. Please do not support MAGA. If they were to see that in all 50 states, white people would have to think more. They would have to think more. And open up their minds and get woke, the very thing that they don't want them to do. But y'all do know for a fact that if it was Black people that was out there alongside with them, that's the crazy thing about it. Even if they were there, like some of them were there as allies during the Black Lives Matter protests, even if they were there, as soon as we were alongside them, best believe law enforcement would have been out there in full force. They would have been out there in full force. And best believe sometime during this week, we would have gotten some announcement of martial law being enacted. I just wanted to put that out there. So for all the people who is like, why weren't Black people protesting? It was out of safety. And it's because we knew if we wasn't there, that it would actually be a peaceful protest. And it's not even to say that they were peaceful. If you were listening to some of the shit that these people were saying, they was rowdy, okay? But they still was met with respect. The type of respect that Black people would have never been given. We've never been given that opportunity. We've never been given that privilege. And this is why we as Black people have to figure out another way to boycott and another way to protest. Because going out there in the streets is literally.
So now the question on many people's lips is that, was the protest peaceful or it was just privileged? Because Black communities have been saying it for years that we get protests, like we protest and we get policed. Same streets, same chants, but the energy from the law enforcement is always different. Because during Black Lives Matter protests, the peaceful marches were turned around, okay? There were called riots, people were arrested for just speaking up. But this April 5th protest, there was barely any police presence, okay, according to those that went and according to the videos that surfaced online. There was no clash and not even one viral arrest video. So people are asking on the internet that would it have been peaceful if black folks had shown up? Or is this protest being praised just because it was a white, quiet protest and not a black, loud protest, guys? So many comments on the internet. So now it leaves me pondering, right, that April 5th was not just about the cause, right? Because it looks like it just becomes like a mirror for how race still plays a role in protesting and policing in America. Because if the word peaceful, because what it spelled was that only certain people were allowed to protest safely, right? So we are not just talking about peace, we are talking about privilege. Guys, did you notice when you had the protest? Let me know what you think in the comment section and let me know what you noticed. If you found value in this video, please don't forget to like, share, and comment. And thank you guys for listening. I'll see you in my next video. Please don't forget to stay safe. Ciao.